Chapter 4 The Trinity of Creativity. Throughout history, creativity has been shrouded in mystery. It is a realm only a few can access that forever shuts the rest of us out. A calling so high and noble that it is unobtainable by mere mortals. We are taught over and over that creativity is something you cannot learn. It is something you either have or don't have. Those who have it possess some kind of otherworldly wisdom and grace that we can only wish we had. The worst myth is that creativity relies on inspiration. In this view, the stars must align, and only then will inspiration strike in that special way. It's something fleeting that happens only so often. We are told that inspiration is a limited resource that you will run out of one day. You will be forever bereft of a creative way to think as your finite supply of inspiration shrivels up and dies. The truth is that all of those things are complete and utter baloney. Creativity is something that can be taught and, moreover, can be relearned, just as you are doing today. As you begin to awaken your long-lost inner creativity, you will need a formula to enable repeatable success no matter what business you are in or what you do. My Trinity of Creativity will guide you and your company to creative success. It will deliver the how that I believe is critical for all to see. The 3 points are what I call the concept, the idea, and the execution. Let's look a bit closer at each one individually and then see how they combine to create a powerful tool. Take a look at figure 4.1. At the top, you have the concept, which is the widest view. Then, as we move toward the middle of the chart, we have the idea. Notice how things get more and more focused and more defined as we go lower in the chart. Finally, as we get to the bottom, we have the execution, the distilled essence of the process. The concept. To get started, I want you to imagine the perspective of a satellite up in space looking at the Earth. What can you see from up that high? You probably see clouds, weather, the shapes of the continents, water, and more. This is the widest view of the Earth possible, but you can't zoom in to see details. This view is what I call the concept. In applying the concept to business, you take on the highest level of your career or business possible. Here you can see trends come and go. You can see where the company or your career should be headed several years into the future. You can see big picture items but are not so good at seeing medium level things, much less any details. This is the widest and highest perspective possible in which to frame your career or company. For example, if you are a company that manufactures cars, the concept could be mobility or transportation. There really is no right answer. It is whatever makes the most sense to you. If you are looking at your career in, say, nursing, you might say that the concept of your career is communication, because keeping patients informed throughout their journey is the highest level view of your job possible. Or you might say that care is the concept of your career, because what you do is care for people in different ways. There is no right or wrong answer for the concept of your career or business. The concept needs to be what feels the best for you in your particular situation, and it needs to stay pretty broad, but also important enough that you will stand behind it. Therefore, the concept is the most significant category that your career or company encompasses. In a rush to identify your particular concept, you may be tempted to take a shortcut and get too specific. But in identifying your concept, you give your career or company the broadest meaning possible. What part of your career or company gives you the most meaning? That is your concept. I'd like you to do a brief exercise by writing down what the concept of your business or career is. I'd like you to write it in the margins of this page or somewhere close by. Write down the concept of your business or career in a word or a few words that encompass the highest level of meaning for you on what it is that you do. Write it down and circle it. The idea. Now that we have identified the concept of your career or business, it is time to look at the next building block in my formula for making creativity happen. The idea is a medium level view that makes the concept a bit more specific. Think of this as a street view that reveals far more details, almost like holding a camera and looking through it onto the street. With this view, details come into focus. We can see plants, animals, and people, all of which were impossible to see in the concept satellite view. When you apply the idea view in your career or business, you can see more of the day-to-day details of what is going on. Think about hour to hour, week to week, and month to month interactions. You cannot see trends or patterns or the far outlook, but you sure can see what is going on in front of you. The idea will always follow the concept as a more refined derivative of the concept. Just as the concept carries the most meaning to you, the idea will carry the most practical view of your career or business. In the case of the nurse, your idea is most likely a head nurse or a pediatric nurse. It further narrows your role down into the idea, but does not fully narrow it down into a lot of detail. Below, where you have written your concept and circled it, I'd like you to write your idea. There is no right or wrong idea for your career or business. There is only what feels right to you. Write it down in the margin and circle it. You may be tempted to get super specific, but please resist that urge for now. The idea should be a mid-level perspective of your company or career. It's more or less what you tell someone who asks you what you do at a party. The execution. Finally, we have the execution, which consists of the nitty-gritty details of the business. This is the electron microscopic view. Here you can see nothing but the details and the minute-to-minute actions of your business or career. Here you can see, as the seconds of the clock go ticking by, the action, the drama, and the deep details of your everyday work. If the concept is the high-level view and the idea is the mid-level view, the execution is the view from deep within the trench. This consists of the constant fires that need to be put out and the everyday grievances of the staff. As is true when you look into a microscope, here we can see only the exact atoms, not the whole object the atoms make up. For our nursing example, the execution might be a neonatal intensive care unit nurse. It is a very specific execution of your career as a derivative of the idea and the concept. Below, where you have written and circled your concept and have written and circled your idea, I'd like for you to write and circle your execution. There is no right or wrong execution to your career or business. There is only what feels right to you. It's a very specific item, a laser-focused definition of what it is that your company offers or what you do in your career. Write it down in the margin. Be as detailed as possible. It is something you tell people after meeting them at a party and they show interest in what you do.